Welcome back. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you the theory, which will mostly be the definitions and terminology that we use for financial documents. So the first one will be a bank statement. So defined, the bank statement gives you the details of all transactions made from one account in a given time period. So for example, if you have a savings account and a check account, then you will have one statement for the savings account and another statement for the check account. A transaction is defined as an instance of money moving either in or out of your account. So for example, if you get your salary, that would be money into your account. And when you purchase anything, that is going to be money out of your account. So a debit balance is money that you owe to the bank. So for example, in a case whereby you only had 500 rands in your account and you spent 520 and that transaction was allowed to go through, it means you owe the bank 20 rands. But in most cases, the debit is what you, in all cases actually, the debit is what you owe to the bank. So a credit balance is the amount that you have in your account. So for example, just like when you have a clothing account, they tell you that you've got 600 rand credit. It means you can spend everything up to 600 rands. But there can also be other examples of credit balance. So the unemployment insurance fund, which is commonly known as UIF, is basically 1% of your salary that you pay every month. So in case of you being unemployed, as the name suggests. So for example, if you earn 10,000 and then 1% of 10,000 would be 100 rands. So every month you will take 100 rands and contribute towards a fund so that if you are not employed, then you can get paid for, I think, a maximum of 3 to 6 months. And then in most cases, some other companies will pay the other 1%. So you'll find that you contribute that 100 rand, and then your company also contributes another 100 rand, which means like every month on your UIF you contribute 200 rands. And then gross is your total income before any deduction. So in the example of 10,000, if your gross income is agreed to be 10,000, then that would be your gross. Then you still have to deduct the UIF from your gross. You have to deduct tax and other things which are usually included there. And then you get your net. So when you take your gross minus your deductions, then you get the net. This is the amount of money that goes into your bank account. Then deductions, it's all the payables that you're supposed to pay. So these include medical aid, tax, contributions. What's this other one that I'm forgetting? Like not yeah, pension fund. So those are all deductions. So these are amounts subtracted from the gross earnings. Some are fixed, others are not. So tax are amounts payable to the government for services, income, and profits. So this is how you keep the government running, by paying your taxes. Then a special type of tax is VAT, which is known as value added tax, is the indirect tax on the consumption of goods and services in the economy. So for you to claim VAT and everything, you need to have a tax, it's the tax registration number. But you will see this as we go through an example. And then from the VAT, you need to be aware that some of the things, they are tax or exempt or they're VAT exempt. So for example, brown bread is VAT exempt. Maize meal, semp, mealie meal, rice, milk, vegetables, fruits, veggies, cooking oil, and eggs. Those are all exempt from tax. So this is basically saying like it's it's a way of saying like you're not being charged for essentials I think they're usually called a brown basket. So that would be it in this case. But before we conclude this lecture, I just wanted you to have these calculations as something that you know, or something that you always keep at the back of your mind. So for you to get your net pay, you need to take your gross and subtract all of the deductions. And then for you to calculate UIF contributions, as I said, it's 1% of your income. So you'll take your gross multiplied by 1 divided by 100, then you'll get like how much you need to contribute to UIF. So that example that I made of 10,000, and what you would do here, you'll say 10,000 multiplied by 1 divided by 100, then you'll get that 100 rands that you're supposed to pay for UIF. And then the last one that I would like for you to know or memorize as your VAT calculations. So VAT used to be 14%, but now it's 15. So if you want to calculate the VAT of anything, you just take the total amount which is taxable, and then you multiply it by 15 over 100, and then you would get how much VAT you have paid on those items. So these are also some mathematics highlights that I would like for you to understand. So multiplication is the opposite of division, just as addition is the opposite of subtraction. So what does that mean? In a case whereby for you to do something, you need to multiply. For you to get the other result, you actually need to divide. So that's what I mean by um, multiplication is the opposite of division, and addition is the opposite of subtraction. So for example, if right now you've got 10 rands, and then I'm saying I'm adding 5 rand, and then you'll have 15 rand. So for you to get to the 15 rand you added, but if I say I don't want to give you this 5 rand anymore, then how would you make sure that you go back to where you was? Then you subtract the 5 rand that you previously added. So this is just something that you keep at the back of your mind so that you can find certain problems easily. And the other rule is basically a common thing in mathematics. Whatever you do on the left of the equal sign, you do on the right of the equal sign. In which case, then you'll say, for example, if you want to calculate the VAT, and if you want to cancel that 15%, basically this here, for you to get rid of the 15%, you have to divide here by 15, which means also this side you divide by 15. So this is what I mean by saying what you do on the left, you do on the right. But it's just some basic things. So the reason why you would want to divide by 15 here is to make sure this cancel. And then, but I think you'll see this thing when I'm going through the dead example, whereby you need to do calculations. And yeah, I'll conclude this lecture. You can come through to the next lecture, whereby I'll be going through with you a till slip example.